Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH joining us today from Johan Promotions is Johan Jr. Joe, thank you for joining us today.
James, thanks very much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
So what is Johan Promotions?
Well, we're a 50-year-old company based just outside of Philadelphia. You know, our primary business is that we are the distributor for pay-per-view and pay sports and entertainment programming to bars and restaurants, casinos, any kind of out-of-home or public viewing location in the United States.
So in other words, more so for the restaurants and the businesses than for the listeners at their houses.
Yeah, exactly. I describe it this way to people. If you and I wanted to go watch a big Mayweather fight, we'd go to your house and we might want to order the event on either satellite or cable or streaming. And, they would charge us $70 to watch the event. But a lot of bars and restaurants show these events also. And those bars and restaurants have to have a license to sign it. And they get that license to show it through Johan Promotion.
Oh, nice. And a lot of times those bars or restaurants, the listeners will be able to go there for free or, a cover charge.
Yeah, absolutely. We leave that up to the discretion of the bar owner to decide what their, offer is going to be. Very, very often it is just, an event that they buy and they're trying to drive, traffic into their location and have their customers spend, money on food and drink, just like they would if they had a band or a comedian come in or somebody like that, some entertainment. And then some other restaurants choose to, as we call it, a forced spend. They charge a minimum to come in, but sometimes that $20 cover charge, might include, some food and drink, and therefore people aren't coming in and sitting at a table and drinking water for, 4 hours or something like that.
Good point. Yeah, because I was going to say, I know some frugal people that would just do that. They would water and bread. So how did you get it started back in 1971?
Well, in 1971, my dad was a police officer in the city of Philadelphia, and he read an article in the newspaper about a group of businessmen that were pooling their money together to start a company called Cloverlay. That company, Cloverlay's purpose was they were going to manage the boxing career of a fighter by the name of Joe Frazier. Joe at that time was coming back from the Olympics. He had broken his thumb, and they thought he was a pretty good fighter, and he was from Philadelphia, and they thought it would be pretty cool to own their own fighter. And at that time, there were no big television contracts that the fighters would sign when they returned and stuff like that from the Olympics. So Joe became basically an employee of Cloverlay. My dad read the article in the newspaper. He wrote to the principal people that had started the company and asked if they would give him the opportunity to invest. They did. He had to go to the next board meeting, bring $500. He did not have the money. He had to borrow the $500. And he showed up, and that allowed him to buy 2 shares of stock, and he formally became a shareholder in Cloverlay. Well, as time would go by, Joe's career started to blossom. The responsibilities of Cloverlay became a lot bigger, and they were looking for somebody to run the company for them and basically become the manager of Cloverlay. And my dad, just being a hustling guy and having bills to pay just like everybody else and trying to supplement his police officers' pay, he said, let me be the manager of the business. And he did. And during that time, he saw an opportunity for the whole industry to start to be able to show these fights on closed-circuit TV. And for anybody that's out there that's listening and remembers in the old days, you would go and buy a ticket at a movie theater or at a high school gym or at an arena, and they would throw up a big giant screen and they would broadcast the fights on closed-circuit TV, and that became another revenue stream, for the Cloverlay organization and really for the whole boxing industry. So at that point, they kind of forced my dad to start Johan Promotions and to start this business. And so reluctantly he did. So now, He's a police officer. He's the business manager for Clover Lake, and now he's the owner and manager and operator of Johan Promotions, all in his early 30s. And he said that, on March the 8th, 1971, he finds himself standing at ringside at Madison Square Garden after Joe Frazier beats what some people call the greatest fighter of all time, Muhammad Ali. And my dad is his manager and is really sitting on top of the world.
Oh my
And so
gosh.
that's how the company got started.
Yeah, that must have been an amazing experience to be a part of all that. Obviously, extremely busy, having those three occupations plus being a dad. I mean, that he must have felt like he was pulled in 10 different directions.
Well, James, it's a great observation. And what ended up happening was at the age of 38, my dad had a massive heart attack. And he was really, really sick for a number of years. And at that time, that was around, 1980 when I was just graduating from college. And so my dad said to me, what are you going to do for a job? I was getting married and didn't have much money and didn't really think about all that as being kind of young, dumb, and stupid. So he said, I'll tell you what, I want to make a deal for you. I want to make you my partner on a fight we have coming up. And I'm going to coach you on what to do because I'm just not well enough to kind of do the whole event. So I said, well, I was playing basketball at the time. I was a basketball player in college. I had gotten drafted by the Sixers and went to rookie camp for 3 days. And I wanted to go overseas and play basketball. So I said, look, this is my dad asking, all right, Dad, I'm going to do this one fight with you, and then that's going to be it. And the very first fight that I did was the Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran first fight. And I got to just tell you, it was really, really successful. And when the event was over, my dad came into the office, and a couple of days after the fight, and he gave me an envelope, and there was a check in there with a lot of money in it. And I was like, "What's this for?" And he goes, "Well, this is your part of the promotion." And I was like, "Wow, all right." He goes, "I told you we're my partner, so that's what your share is." And I said, "All right, well, thanks so much." And he goes, "Well, look." He goes, "They're going to do a rematch in November. Would you like to do the rematch?" And I looked at the check, and I was like, all right, one more fight I'm going to do, but that's like it. And here it is 42 years later. I never left, and he's been the greatest mentor and partner you could ever ask for. And he's 85 years old, still comes into the office every day, loves this business, and I think he's really proud of, what he's ended up building here and gets to see that every day and gets to come to work with his son every day, which I guess is kind of fun. I know that would be for me.
That is awesome. Yeah, we love having companies on our show that are family based, and it sounds like you guys are definitely family based and very strong bond. I love how the fact that you bring communities together. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, what I like to tell people is, I think we've been relevant as a business because what we do is when we sell these events to the bars and restaurants that we do, it gives people an opportunity to gather together as communities and have these watch parties where they can, sit and talk with their neighbor or their friend, and they can, excuse me one second. They can end up just getting the opportunity to talk with, people in their community that like boxing or like the events that we're showing. Listen, in Philadelphia right now, where we're based, there isn't a better community experience than the World Series that's going on. That's for sure. So we're really, that's what we kind of do, and that's what we offer, and make these events what I call community watch parties.
That is awesome. We think that's great. That like you said, just bringing those communities together. And then I understand you have some really great content partners. Who are your great content partners?
So I'll tell you the one thing that's happening to us now is we are going through a transitional period right now where streaming is becoming so much a part of our business. Whenever you take a look at the 50-year history of our company, technology was always one of the things that drove change in our industry. Right now, we're going through change. So when we're going through this change and adopting streaming into our business, it's allowing us some new partners. One of those is ESPN Plus. We are now offering that exclusively to the out-of-home market. which is a fantastic product. One of our top products, and it has been for 21 years, is the UFC. We're the exclusive distributor for the UFC. We are also working with companies in the boxing industry like Top Rank, PBC, which is Premier Boxing Championship. We're working with another streaming partner called DAZN. That's DAZN, and you probably see that being talked about in the sports world. WWE, AEW, PGA Tour Live. Our lineup is, some of the best and biggest sports and media companies in the world right now. So we're very proud of that, and would like to think that we do an outstanding job in taking that product that those particular clients are offering to the, commercial space.
Yeah, that is great. Like you said, I mean, the top companies in the world of sports today are going through you guys. I mean, it doesn't get any better. It really doesn't. And then another thing I really am impressed with, I understand that you're very philanthropic, that there is a boxing gym and a computer lab that you've donated to the community.
It is. I mentioned earlier that my dad was a police officer in the city of Philadelphia. When he had the heart attack, he had only been working on the force for 18 years. But my mom was a police officer in the city of Philadelphia, and she was on the force for 23 years. So what ended up happening in our house when we were growing up, and I think it continues now, although both my parents are obviously retired, I have been taught that, having community youth centers in the areas where they're most needed are something that helps the communities where you run those programs. And so we've had the Joe Hand Boxing Gym in existence for about 25 years. And that got started because my parents encouraged their family to do something to give back to the community. We recently moved out of Philadelphia to a suburban location where we have our corporate headquarters. And at our new facility, we have 25,000 square feet, of which 5,000 square feet of it is the new Joe Hand Gym. And we christened it on March the 8th, 2021, the 50th anniversary of the Ali Frazier fight. And in our gym, we have two bronze statues that stand 10 foot tall each, one of Muhammad Ali and one of Joe Frazier. And they're right in the entranceway when you come in, and they're also visible to the passersby. But our boxing gym really serves a couple of purposes. We are open to the youth in our community. We run a program for people with Parkinson's disease, and we also have a program in there for people that are veterans that are, in our immediate area. So we clearly have a program here that what we're doing is offering things to people, in the community because it's our way of the Hand family trying to give back.
That is amazing. We love companies that give back. And then we want to know, what are some of the places in our area in Ohio that our listeners can go and view a Joe Hand promotion?
So, I was a question I knew you might ask, and I will say this to you. Rather than tell you like, hey, here's a list of the locations, what the best thing that anybody could do is they could visit the Joe Hand Promotions website. It's joehandpromotions.com. And there is a link at the top of the page called Bar Finder. And if any of the listeners out there want to know a particular event, whether it's, a boxing event, a UFC event, anything like that, what will happen is you can put in your area code, your city and state, and it will pop up the closest locations to your area with a 35-mile radius. So that's the best way that anybody could find out, where they could go watch an event in their particular area.
Well, it sounds great, Joe. It has been a pleasure having you on the show today.
Well, James, thanks so much. I always enjoy telling the Joe Hand story. It's always fun to do that. We're always looking forward to bringing events to the people in your community.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, James. Have a great day.
Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Dream Cloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today, or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH joining us today is the boxer Aaron Pryor Jr. Aaron, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about this upcoming event, the World Fighting Champions, WFC 140 Live Boxing and MMA, November 12th, 2022.
Yes, looking forward. I mean, I'm really excited about this event. It's more or less of a hometown fight for me because it's definitely close to Cincinnati. So should be a really exciting night of fighting, MMA and boxing for boxing fans. So I'm just excited. I'm excited to perform and to make my last run at boxing. So just exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a great event, great night of fighting, and it's going to be not that far away. Like you said, it's going to be over in the Lawrenceburg Event Center.
Yes. It's close to the hometown, so hopefully get a lot of boxing fans to come out that night, and it should just be a great night of fighting.
Nice. So, how did you get started in boxing?
Well, I'll try to make a long story short. It was actually by accident. I always jokingly say, I'm 6'4", 6'5", so I was a basketball player in college, and high school and stuff, and I got into boxing a little late. And I just was at one of those points in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I came to my dad, and I'm like, hey, well, let's go to the gym and have some father-son time, because I just didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And he kind of looked at me kind of odd, and he's like, okay, let's go down. And we went to the gym and trained and did a couple of things, and he left. He gave me to a different coach, and he kind of left. So I trained with this guy named Dean Appleton and his son, and we trained for a few months. And he came to me and said, "Hey, you want to do an amateur boxing match?" And I said, "Yeah, all right, why not?" So we did one, and I won. And then a couple weeks later, he comes back with another one and another one. Next thing I knew, I boxed amateur for about 5 years. And my dad, after probably my first fight, my dad heard off the street. He was like, "Man, your son is pretty good." And I was like, "What?" And then he comes down to the gym and to see what all the ruckus was about. And that's kind of how I got started into boxing, actually.
Nice. You mentioned basketball. Who did you play basketball for?
So I went to in Cincinnati. I went to Withrow. I played basketball high school at Withrow, but I graduated from Wilmington High School, which is a little bit up north. And then from there, I went to a small school called Edison State, and I played basketball there for a few years, and then that was it. After that, I went into boxing.
Nice. So when it comes to boxing, who is your biggest inspiration?
Of course, my dad was my biggest inspiration, just from all the trials and tribulations he went through and all the hard work that he gave to the sport. His blood, sweat, and tears. From coming from nothing to making it to where he got to was definitely one of my biggest inspiration. My dad was also shorter than me, so I love to watch my dad, and not only was he known for his attacks and his pressure and stuff, but he was also just a phenomenal boxer, and then he displayed that in like the Alexis Aguelo 1. He displayed his boxing skills. But I really looked at a lot of Thomas Hearns, because that's my body type was Thomas Hearns. Even Alexis Aguelo, that was the one guy that I went back and I had to look at his boxing history, because he was a tall, lanky guy like myself. Those are some of the guys that besides my dad, other than my dad, that I really kind of looked at as far as boxing wise.
Which gym do you currently train at?
So there's two gyms. One downtown. The Friendly Neighborhood House is downtown Cincinnati. Coach Daryl Jones. He's known by P-Man. And Back's Academy, which is Tim Back. Was an Olympic coach for the Olympic team. When I know those guys have been around with me for, the past few years of my career. Most people know I started my career out in Detroit at the world famous Krung Boxing Gym. So I always had ties to like Emmanuel Stewart and current, coach of Tyson Fury, Sugar Hill Stewart. I come from that stable of fighters.
Walk us through that last fight against Henry Mercer.
The last fight I had about a year ago. Definitely was my first fight. Kind of fought in a while. So it was I just kind of wanted to see where I was at. It was definitely had to knock the cobwebs off or whatnot, but it was good. It was just good to get back in there. He definitely brought it the first round or two before I was able to start wearing him down.
And then, of course, at the big event on Saturday, November 12th at the Lawrenceburg Events Center, I understand that you're going to be fighting a fellow named Blake.
Yes. I don't know a whole lot about him. I know he's a tall guy like myself, so that should be fun because I don't get to normally fight people my height, so I heard he's tall. I don't know a whole lot about him. I just know a little bit about his background that I've looked up. I know he did some tough man competitions and he's had some boxing matches and whatnot. So I never look past anyone. So I'm just excited about putting on the show and showing my skills.
That's awesome. So how's the training been going for this fight?
It's been going good. My main thing was that I've always learned from my dad, just being consistent in my just in my conditioning and stuff. And it's been going good. I've been putting in a lot of work, and we've been working on a lot of things that we want to display the night of the fight. So we're excited. My team's excited, and we just finished up this last week of training, and we'll be ready to go.
So what's your most dominant punch?
I've been known, of course, for my right hand. Definitely my right hand, and my jab. I'm a long, lanky guy, so I'm always controlling with my jab, and my right hand is my money shot. But we've been working on a lot of other things that we're hoping to really be able to display this fight.
What's it mean to be a fighter?
Oh man, for me, it's just an honor and privilege for me as a fighter. I carry a lot as far as my dad, the pedigree that I come from. My dad is definitely one of the greatest fighters that has ever stepped in the ring. So it means a lot just to carry that name and to perform. And just that legacy, just to kind of keep that going. So it definitely means a lot. And just I'm trying to say the passion for it. You got to have passion for anything you do in life in general. So just the passion you got to have with boxing is just something that I just love.
What separates you from the other fighters in the division?
What's that? Well, of course, who I am. Skill-wise, I think boxing has changed a lot. So I think probably one thing that separates me is not a lot of tall guys out there my height, especially that can fight at a lower weight class, like at 175 or 168. Or even when I started off at 160. So those things definitely does separate me from a lot, my height in the boxing division.
Who would be your dream opponent?
Oh man, right now, my dream opponent right now, probably when I was younger, I would have loved to have fought like it was at one point. Let's see, I could have fought Canelo years ago if I probably would have beat this guy that I had lost to. He was from we fought in Germany. I'm just drawing a blank right now, but if I would have won that fight, that probably would have put me in line to have fought him years ago, actually. So it's a couple of fights that I probably had very closely missed out on, but I guess if that one, Canelo is the man right now, so that probably would have been a fight for me years ago at 168.
What do you want to be remembered for when it's all said and done?
I just want to be remembered as Aaron Pryor Jr., as me, as the son of the legend Aaron Pryor. That's all I want to. I want to be remembered as a good fighter, a good person. At the end of the day, boxing is awesome and it's wonderful, but just a good person and someone that just gave the best that he could when he was in the ring.
So, Aaron, before we let you go, obviously our listeners, they're excited for the big fight, the WFC big event, 140, live boxing and MMA, which just baffles me that they have both on November 12th at the Lawrenceburg Event Center. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can our listeners find out more about Aaron Pryor Jr.?
Oh, well, you can always hit me up on Facebook. There's always show a bunch of tons of pictures of information about the fight. And just a bunch of things of my dad that I love to share and show off and stuff. So we have Aaron Pryor Jr. on Facebook and Aaron Pryor Jr. on Instagram.
That is awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today.
All right, well, thank you for having me.
Black Friday prices now available at Appliance Factory. Save up to 40 to 80% on thousands of in-stock appliances and mattresses. Largest inventory in Ohio, Appliance Factory gets exclusive factory buys from manufacturers at huge discounts, and they pass the savings on to you. Guaranteed to beat Lowe's and Home Depot's Black Friday sale prices. Save up to 40 to 80% on GE, Maytag, KitchenAid, Bosch, all the major brands. Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has inventory. They have all the best selections on Purple, Dream Cloud, Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, unbeatable savings. Black Friday prices now at Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom. Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH joining us today to talk about boxing is Quashawn Toler. Quashawn, thank you for joining us today.
How you doing? Thank you.
We're excited. We're excited about your big fight on Saturday, November 12th. It's going to be the WFC 140, and it's going to be live boxing and MMA at the Lawrenceburg Event Center. So tell us a little bit about it.
It's a good show put on for the city. We got a lot of great talent other than me. Tyrese and Jermaine, Dante Strayhorn, Aaron Pryor. Just a platform for us to showcase our talent and to get a better opportunity out of life, so we can really live a good life after boxing.
That is awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, I understand you're 15-1, so on a bit of a hot streak going. So, I mean, that is phenomenal that, seeing the local fellows do well.
Yes, it is. So I'm still pushing through, coming from where we all come from, all the guys that's on the card. It's pretty hard to make it out, because we didn't have that person that was going to give us an opportunity. So, with God being the way, so I'm looking forward to be blessed to give other guys the opportunity to showcase their talent as well. So, like I said, it's going to be a good show.
So how'd you get started in boxing?
How did I get started in boxing? It was like any other, neighborhood. We all fought on the street, like how Adrian Broner made it, Rasheed Warren, a lot of guys, talented guys, world champions. We started in our neighborhood street fighting. And a coach named by Levi Smith dragged me into the ring. And then I ran into Michael Stanford at a young age. I was 11 years old when I started with Michael Stanford and Levi Smith. And everything just went from there. They seen potential in me. They seen a world champion in me at a young age. And I was doing well as an amateur, but Coach Mike seen that I had a pro style. So he willing to, take me further than being like a top amateur. He wanted to breed me as a world champion. So we looking forward to snapping titles right now.
Nice. So who is your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration is Adrian Broner. That's a relative to me. but that's my biggest inspiration because he comes from where I come from, and it's pretty hard to make it out of here. So with him making it out inspired me to perfect my craft and push harder than making it out of, the struggle.
Which gym do you currently train at?
Currently training at Cincinnati Golden Gloves over the Rhine, Buddy LaRosa Gym.
So tell us about how Buddy has impacted you.
Buddy, he always impacted boxing, starting with Aaron Pryor, Tommy Harris, and all the guys. So he really had a strong impact already with boxing due to the fact it was way before I even was thought of as a baby. So he always had and then he always invested into amateurs as well.
And then, of course, another one who's really invested and put a lot of time and effort into you is Coach Stafford. Tell us a little bit about the impact that he's had on you, not just in the ring, but out of the ring as well.
Oh, out of the ring, he was always a father figure to all the guys. And I could take away from him, he always been a father figure to, any kid that came across his path that wanted to do better, he always pushed you. So with him being like a father figure to not just only me, to other guys as well, I'm the hard-headed one, so I'm the one he always was yelling at, snatching up. So it really was like a father being a coach with him. So it wasn't nothing like, oh yeah, this is just my coach. No, it was like, yeah, this like when I'm away from my dad or whatever, this my dad. So, so it's like family.
Nice. So how has boxing changed your life?
Really, it changed my life from seeing the street, people getting killed, people going to jail, and then me, believing in what God blessed me with, and that was boxing. So I didn't feel that I was one of the street guys, that like want to be stuck in the street, because the street is going to be where it's at, and I want to explore the world, like, and be known all over the world, or across the world, as Quashawn, as a world champion.
So walk us through your last fight.
My last fight, which one? The last Columbia fight or the one I lost?
The last Columbia fight.
The last Columbia fight, give God the glory. So he just gave me the strength and the tools to knock the guy out. I mean, he was okay opponent. He hit pretty hard, but nothing I couldn't manage. I just used the right tools to get him out of there.
So who will you be facing on Saturday, November 12th at WFC in Lawrenceburg?
His name is Tyrone Crowley. I'm pretty sure, people know him, but his father was a boxer that they brought to my attention. But how I am, how we always train. Well, like Mike Stanford taught me, if they don't belong in there with you, then you got to get him out. So, like, with him and his father being a boxer, that doesn't really take away from what I'm going to do to him. So, if you in there and you facing me, you're an opponent to me. So,
nice.
Get him out the way, because I got a family to feed.
Exactly. So, how has training been going for this upcoming fight?
Training been going, it's like, I could say Doug Fogey and Michael Stanford, they really both been pushing me even harder because of the level that I'm going to next. So it's like they preparing me before I get to that level. So it's like they using all the world champion tools for me to get, like, to make my dream come true, because I want to be an undisputed world champion. So they using all the right tools to even push me further into, like, reaching that goal and knocking it off. So it's been a lot of, like I said, with Mike Stanford being like a father figure, it's been a lot of arguments, but they always, that's been since I was a kid. So, I was the hard-headed one. So I just had to still get the work done. So no matter how they talk to me, how they push me, how irritated I get, they always push me, make sure I run, even swim, eat right, train, a lot of sparring. So it's like, they just pushing me even harder now, because they see the potential that I got to, change the world, being a hero to my community, and like being a blessing to my community to give other people opportunity.
Nice. What is your most dominant punch?
My most dominant punch, hook right, good night. I land that hook, and the right hand coming right after that. It's just automatic. And I get that from, a guy I always look up to, and, we bump heads, is Adrian Broner. So, I'm always throwing that hook. That's my baby. So if you run into it, just know you might as well bring a pillow with you.
What separates you from the other fighters in your division?
What separates me from the other fighters in my division is hunger. I'm already at the bottom. I've already been at the bottom, so I'm trying to see how I feel like. So me being hungry is separating me from all the other ones. I really had to work for this. It never was given. I really want to be a hero to my community. I really got mouths to feed, and I'm really blessed, and I work hard. So, I'm a strong believer of God. So that's what changed me from all the other boxers in my division, because, some people just doing it just for attention or whatever. And I'm just doing it because I have a family to eat. I got goals to knock there. So this is like a job. I wanted this to be my job.
Who would be your dream opponent?
A dream opponent, I can really say, I don't really know for real, because if you got a title and I don't, and I deserve that, then you is my dream opponent, because I want to be undisputed. So it's whoever got a world champion title. That's all I can say.
What do you want to be remembered for at the end of your career?
A hero, a guy who believes in himself, who pushed forward to making his dream come true.
It has been a pleasure having you on the show, Quashawn. Where on social media, where on the web, where can we find out more about you?
You can look me up on Instagram. That's QUASHAWNTOLERR. And you can just look me up. My social website is at Quashawn Toler. But on Instagram with 2 R's, because somebody took the name. So that's why it's TOLERR.
Okay, that explains it. Yeah, because when you said the extra R, I was like, what?
Yeah, that's because Instagram said somebody already had that name, and I'm the only Quashawn Toler there is. So, but I don't really know. So hopefully when I do become a superstar and really have an impact on boxing, they'll be able to fix that for me.
Sounds great. Well, we're excited about your big fight November 12th, and we look forward to you being successful and getting another win.
Man, give God the glory. Thank you. I appreciate it. God bless y'all.
Welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
Appliance Factory in Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Dream Cloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today, or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH. Joining us today is Tyrese Cornbread Woodard. Tyrese, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
We're excited about your upcoming fight on November 12th in Lawrenceburg Events Center, the WFC 140 event. Tell us, why are you excited about it?
This is going to be my pro debut. I haven't fought since September 2019, so I'll be making my return to the ring. So I'm, as a professional, I'm excited.
So was it COVID or health issues? What caused the delay?
Like I was on and off, and then I was just, seeing what road I was going to take, if I was going to stay amateur still. And we just decided that we were going to go pro, so.
So how did you get started in boxing?
My dad used to box back in the day, so it was just something I wanted to try. Besides baseball, when I was playing baseball, I'm just gonna try boxing when I'm not doing baseball. And I started I liked it.
Nice. Who did you play baseball for?
I played baseball for a lot of different select teams in the Cincinnati area. I played for the RBI Reds. I played for Kenfield, and different teams like that.
Nice. So, who is your biggest inspiration in boxing?
I'm gonna go with Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor and Adrian.
Like, Adrian's like a big brother to us. So, but I'm gonna go with like Aaron Pryor, as far as like Hall of Fame and like making history.
Definitely. Shoot, we just interviewed his son a little bit earlier today, and he's also going to be a part of the big event on November 12th.
Yeah, he's gonna fight on there.
Yeah. So, which gym do you train at?
I'm at Cincinnati Golden Glove, downtown over the Rhine.
So tell us about the impact Coach Stafford has had on your life.
Coach Mike is like a second father, like outside the ring and inside the ring. He makes sure you stay on your P's and Q's. Make sure he stops a lot of us from like being in trouble. Like we used to go over his house all the time. Little kids under us still go over his house. Like he makes sure they train. He always makes sure you eat, stuff like that. So Mike is definitely like a father.
So how has boxing changed your life?
It kept me from a lot of trouble, honestly. If it wasn't for like boxing or like Mike or something like that, I probably would be in trouble or doing dumb stuff. But it definitely kept us from like doing a lot of bad stuff, being influenced easily. Discipline.
I know you said it's been a while since the last fight, but walk us through that fight.
I won. It was actually like it was a good fight. I had fought a guy from I think Indiana. I got the win, but I'm just ready to get back in there right now. It's been a long time coming, so I'm ready to display my talent like the mainstream.
So who are you going to be facing at WFC 140?
Some guy from Indiana named Iman Driver or something like that. Nothing to worry about, though.
Nice. And then how's the training been going for this event?
It's been good. Like, weight been looking great. I've been eating healthy. We've been training like 2 times a day. I've been making sure I get my run in and stuff. Like, this camp been good, like overly good. It's been great, man. It's a good camp.
What's your most dominant punch?
The overhand right. That's my favorite point. That's the point.
Nice. What does it mean to be a fighter?
To be a fighter, you gotta have like confidence. You gotta like have pride. It's like you can't play boxing. Like this is a sport that you can't play. Like you really gotta be into it.
Nice. And then, who would your dream opponent be?
I really don't have no dream opponent right now, but I know like when I start coming up in the rank, like, I'm coming collect every belt.
Nice.
I'm just starting off right now, but as soon as I get up there, I'm collecting every belt. I'm trying to unify all of them.
What separates you from the other fighters in your division?
It really came out the mud. Like I really had to like grind for this stuff. So it ain't like we just take an easy route. Like you really gotta earn. It ain't like nobody just say, here go $1 million and you just fight these people. No, like you gotta earn your way up there.
When it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered for your career?
Being a positive influence on like the kids that's under me. Just being like a role model for my community.
So Tyrese, we're excited about the big event, WFC 140, November 12th at the Lawrenceburg Event Center. We're excited about your big fight and turning pro. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can our listeners find out more about you?
On Instagram, you can follow me at dreamteam_cornbread. And that's pretty much it for all like the names.
Well, sounds great, Tyrese. We look forward to seeing your fight, and we wish you the best.
All right, thank you.
Black Friday prices now available at Appliance Factory. Save up to 40 to 80% on thousands of in-stock appliances and mattresses. Largest inventory in Ohio, Appliance Factory gets exclusive factory buys from manufacturers at huge discounts, and they pass the savings on to you. Guaranteed to beat Lowe's and Home Depot's Black Friday sale prices. Save up to 40 to 80% on GE, Maytag, KitchenAid, Bosch, all the major brands. Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has inventory. They have all the best selections on Purple, Dream Cloud, Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, unbeatable savings. Black Friday prices now at Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom.
Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH. We are excited to have Jermaine Brown as our guest today. We're going to talk all about his boxing career. Jermaine, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for letting me be here.
So we are excited about the upcoming event, the WFC 140 Live Boxing and MMA, November 12th, Lawrenceburg Events Center. Why are you excited about it?
I'm excited for coming off, a 4-year break, and not only coming back from the amateurs, but coming back to make my pro debut in my home, or close to my hometown, where local family, friends, supporters, whoever can come back and see me make the greatest comeback that I ever had.
Nice. So how did you get started in boxing?
Well, if I be honest, it all started around the age 10. I was at home messing around on television, and I run across and I seen Adrian, surprisingly, and I'm watching a fight, and my mom walks past and she see me watching it, and she actually grew up with Adrian. And I had to bag and bag. I always been a pretty boy. My mom didn't want me to do that. She wanted me to be a model, but I wanted to choose my own path, So she brought me to the gym, and I remember the first week within being in the gym, Coach Mike, as Michael Stafford had told me, he's a natural. He's built for it. He can do this. And it actually, motivated me and made me want to stay in the gym, and actually made my mom want to keep me in the gym.
So who's your biggest inspiration?
Well, I got a few. If anything, I could say my mom. My mom is one of the biggest motivators that I ever had. Stayed in my corner through tough times, never gave up. As long as Mike. Mike never gave up on me. But on the boxing side, I think I'm going to stick with my favorite always. I love Adrian, but Muhammad Ali, just for him being a good person inside and outside the ring.
You mentioned about Coach Mike and, his inspiration and how he inspired you. Tell us about the impact that he's had on your life, not just inside the ring, but outside of the ring.
We want to talk outside of the ring. I think outside of the ring mostly counts. Coach Mike, he taught me discipline at a young age. Having to sacrifice at a young age, not being able to, live a regular teenage life by going out, having fun. On those weekends that I wanted to go out and, go to the movies, instead I'm at Coach Mike's house, running up and down big hills all day, every weekend, training for, to win national tournaments. And I can give Mike his flowers because he most definitely taught me discipline. I think that's the major thing in this sport, which people, don't recognize. They just recognize that as just fighting, but no, your coaches have a big impact on you as well.
Which gym do you train at?
I'm located at Cincinnati Golden Gloves, downtown over the Rhine.
How has boxing changed your life?
Boxing changed my life a lot. It like I said, it separated me from, living an average teenage life. I got to see parts, of the world that I wouldn't have seen if I wasn't boxing. And that was sacrifices that not only my coaches made or my parents, it was sacrifices that I also made too at a young age. So seeing friends and, people I went to school with, when they're leaving school, they're going outside versus me having to, on a strict schedule, going straight to the gym and training for a national fight and, leaving school sometimes, for upon a week just to go out of town to travel just to fight. I think it speaks for itself.
On Saturday, November 12th at the WFC 140 in Lawrenceburg Event Center, who are you going to be facing?
I'm facing another known fighter from his area, from Covington, Kentucky, I believe. His name is Jacob Bray. I won't say like trying to be cocky. I'm always humble, but not much of anything I should be worried about, especially from my resume. I'm looking forward to, put on the show. I said it's my pro debut. I'm trying to, let everybody recognize who's back and what I'm back to do.
So how has the training been going for the big fight?
Training has been amazing, beautiful. 2 times a day, having coach, on us. I think it all will show November 12th.
What's your most dominant punch?
That's kind of hard. I say, my left hand because I'm a southpaw, following with the hook. My hook is ultimately my fastest, and I feel like my strongest.
What does it mean to you to be a fighter?
And to be a fighter I feel like to being a fighter, you can compare that to being a warrior. Never give up, stand for what you believe in. Basically never giving up, to fight back, because championship round, that really shows who's the best fighter and the best man wins, So it's a mentality and, a lifestyle.
What separates you from the other fighters in your division?
I say my resume, the things I sacrificed in life, what I've done, my work ethic. It's a whole bunch of things, but I say mainly my resume.
Who would your dream opponent be?
As if I can speak for anyone,
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's kind of hard. I say Ali, or I say Floyd Mayweather. I gotta fight one of the greatest.
Nice.
I have to.
And then, what do you want to be remembered for at the end of your career?
I want to be remembered for being one of the best, because I won't say not the best. I want to be one of the best. I want to be sitting next to the best. But I also want to be remembered for being inspirational outside of the ring, leading the youth, how I was led, one day being a coach and, being one of the greatest coaches and one of the greatest fighters, just loving the sport. And, changing people's lives how people change mine.
And then we are excited about the big fight on November 12th, WFC 140 at Lawrenceburg Event Center. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can we find out more about you?
So you can locate me on Twitter and on Instagram at Jermaine Champ. That is Jermaine Champ, spelled JermaineChamp.
Excellent. What has been a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you.
Appliance Factory in Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Dream Cloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today, or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
That wraps it up for this week's show. Hope you can join us again next week for this Dream House. This has been James Lewis. Enjoy your weekend.